Apple offers you a very wide range of iPads to choose from, of course, from that 9th gen iPad all the way at the bottom, all the way up to that 12.9-inch Max, that iPad Pro. But this 11-inch iPad Pro, I think, has lost its place in that lineup, right? I just don't think it's worth it anymore. Let's talk accessories, which is where the iPad really shines compared to other tablets in the market. You have the Apple Pencil, which is the gold standard of a stylus on a tablet these days, and you have the Magic Keyboard, which is also the gold standard of a typing laptop-ish experience that you have on the tablet market. I personally have had a great experience using the stylus for taking notes. I've had a great experience typing up stuff on the Magic Keyboard as well. Overall, the accessories are very good. However, you know, this comes at it in $299, which is pretty expensive for an iPad keyboard, and the Apple Pencil, which I think should come in the box, starts at $129. And coupled with that expensive starting price for the 11-inch iPad Pro coming in at $999, it's not a great start value-wise. And if you compare this 11-inch M1 iPad Pro to its MacBook cousin, let's say the MacBook Air, for example, it does come in with quite a cost increase, because as I said earlier, you're only getting the tablet at $999, whereas if you buy that MacBook, you get the whole computer, you know, bundled in one. Of course, the iPad does have a different use case, right? If you do want to draw, you'll grab an Apple Pencil. If you want to draw and use it as a pseudo laptop, you can do that too. The fact that it's kind of modular in a way doesn't really like justify that price increase for me. I mean, if it was me, I'd probably buy the Magic Keyboard at around $100 or $150. $200 just seems too much for it. And that stylus, well, Samsung provides theirs for free, so maybe Apple could do the same. I mean, I'm not an expert in profits, margins, and all that, but this seems like a very steep price to pay for accessories. One huge advantage that older A-series chips iPads had over the Mac was definitely performance and efficiency, especially over those lower tier MacBook Airs, which it was priced, you know, about the same. But now, I mean, the MacBook Air can match or even beat this M1 performance simply because of its bigger and better chassis, right? It can cool and it can move air, move heat better than this thin iPad. And well, the rest of it just falls apart after that. When you go above $1,000, you can reach into MacBook Pro 14-inch territory, and from there, there's just no competition. The battery life, efficiency, and simply better performance that those devices offer makes them the clear buy. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom for the iPad. I mean, there are definitely things that you can do on here that you just simply can't do on other Macs, and that includes using the stylus to its best ability. The iPad stylus, the Apple Pencil, isn't really anything special. It has really cool commands that you can use, and I mean, the Notes app is really cool and creative in the ways that you can take notes with it, right? There are different settings, different things you can tweak. There are third-party apps you can use to better your experience with the Apple Pencil. I really like the ecosystem that Apple has built around it. It's really fun and creative to use. Usually I just use it to take notes in class, or like if I have my iPad handy, if I just need to take notes anywhere, like I'll just do that, you know, just like jot something down or whatever. But for artists, I mean, this is really cool, and it's not something you can get on any other device simply because of the pen to screen latency that you get with the Apple Pencil. And I just want to say, this review, because of the way that the M1 and M2 iPad Pros for that matter, are so similar, this review can apply to both of them. I have the M1 version right here, but due to the fact that iPad OS doesn't really take advantage of this huge, you know, like stack of performance that has been given with these M chips, the experience that you'll have between M1 and M2 iPad Pros is going to be very, very similar, if there's any difference at all. And so that might beg the question, why do I have this iPad Pro? And well, the answer to that is a little more complicated than you might think, but the iPad Pro is a great travel companion. especially when you really don't want to lug around your big, thick laptop with you. An iPad Pro is a great way to supplement that. As I just said earlier, while it doesn't, take advantage of all the performance, it's still there. And that means when you play games, when you watch videos, everything is super smooth and fluid. And of course, iPadOS helps with that. See, it isn't a perfect travel companion. I don't have the cellular model on this one, so when I don't have my phone on me, or if I don't want to use hotspot, it's not the best, internet browsing device, obviously, but it still has a big and bright display. I mean, it's nothing to scoff at. This isn't the 12.9-inch version, so it doesn't have the mini LED XDR greatness, but it's still an amazing display that is a beauty to look at. It also has 120 hertz. So I don't really have any issues using this iPad when I'm traveling, and I think that's where I personally use it the most. And in terms of creative apps, obviously, we did just get the new version of DaVinci Resolve, and Lightroom and Photoshop are still on here, which I do enjoy using, especially with that Apple Pencil. But yeah, in terms of creativity and productivity on this iPad, as long as you have that Magic Keyboard and that Apple Pencil, you will basically be good to go. Everything will be smooth, clean, and pretty fast. So I want to add, of course, the multimedia experience on here is simply amazing. You get all the features of a phone multimedia experience, but just on a bigger screen. You guys know the story about the iPad. But you want to hear what's interesting? All the things that I just talked about, the benefits of owning and using an iPad Pro, they can all be replicated if you just dumb down and go buy an older iPad Pro or an iPad Air, both of which will be significantly cheaper and will save you enough money so that you might, if you do want to buy the Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil, you won't be completely broke after you do so. And I think this is an issue because while the new iPad Pros are scarily good, previous iPad Pros are still really great, and Apple's software support makes them usable for years and years to come. At the end of the day, this M1 iPad Pro is replaceable. I mean, you might think, hey, all devices are replaceable, but this one in particular, you can go to an older iPad Pro and get about 90% of the same functionality. You can go to an iPad Air, get 90% of the functionality, right? The fact that iPadOS just doesn't differ between these devices as much as you would think, and the fact that you can go to a MacBook and get most of that or even more functionality out of that MacBook just goes to show me that while the M1 and M2 iPad Pros are great devices in their own right, I think that they're too expensive, and combined with the price of the accessories, simply out of reach for too many people to be considered great value and actually good devices to buy.